Howdy, and welcome to SciTech Daily. Unlocking the power of our emotional memory to cure mental health disorders like depression and PTSD. October 28th, 2022. It might be hard to believe, but this is a picture of a memory. In this picture, the blue dots are positive memory cells, and the red dots are negative memory cells. Memories exist in the brain as a network of cells called engrams and are stored and processed all over the brain. The memories shown here are located in the hippocampus of a mouse. Neuroscientists show that it is possible to turn the volume down on a negative memory by stimulating other, happier ones. Even though you might not realize it, each time you recall a memory, such as your first time riding a bike or walking into your high school prom, your brain changes the memory ever so slightly. It's almost like adding an Instagram filter, with details being filled in and information being updated or lost with each recall. We're inadvertently applying filters to our past experiences. Inadvertently, says Steve Ramirez, CS10, a Boston University neuroscientist. Even though a filter memory is different from the original, for the most part you can tell what the basic picture is, he says. Chickens picking on each other. Memory is less of a video recording of the past and more reconstructive, says Ramirez, a BU College of Arts and Sciences assistant professor of psychological and brain sciences. It is both a blessing and a curse that memory is malleable in nature. If we remember false details, it's bad. However, especially for memories of something scary or traumatic, it's good that our brains have the natural ability to mold and update memories to make them less potent. What if it's possible to use the malleable nature of our memories to our advantage as way to cure mental health disorders like depression and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD? Ramirez and his research team are actively pursuing this goal, and after years of studying memories in mice, they found not only where the brain stores positive and negative memories, but also how to turn the volume down on negative memories but by artificially stimulating other, happier ones. Our $1 million idea is: what if a solution for some of these mental disorders already exists in the brain? And what if memory is one way of getting there? Ramirez asks. In two new scientific papers, he and his team demonstrate the power of our emotional memories and how our experiences and the way we process them leave actual physical footprints in the brain. Mapping positive and negative memories. One of the most important steps towards using memory to treat memory related disorders is understanding where positive and negative memories exist in the brain and how to distinguish between the two. Memories are stored in all different areas across the brain, and the individual memories themselves exist as networks of cells called engrams. Ramirez's lab is particularly interested in the networks of memories located in the brain's hippocampus, a cashew-shaped structure that stores sensory and emotional information important for forming and retrieving memory. The term engram was coined in 1994 by memory researcher Richard Salmon. An engram is a unit of cognitive information imprinted in a physical substance. Theorized, theorized to be the means by which memories are stored as a biophysical or biochemical changes in the brain or other biological tissue in response to external stimuli. In a new paper published in Nature Communications Biology, Ramirez lead author Monica Spokaite met 26, whatever that means, and a team of the BU neuroscientists mapped out the key molecular and genic differences between positive and negative memories. They found that the two are actually strikingly distinct on multiple levels. It turns out that emotional memories, like a positive or negative memory, are physically distinct from other types of brain cells and distinct from each other. That's pretty wild because it suggests that these positive and negative memories have their own separate real estate in the brain. The study authors found that positive and negative memory cells are different from each other in almost every way. They are mostly stored in different regions of the hippocampus. They communicate with other cells using different types of pathways, and the molecular machinery in both types of cells seems to be distinct. So, there's potentially a molecular basis for differentiating between positive and negative memories in the brain. Ramirez says, we know, no, we now have a bunch of markers that we know differentiate positive from negative in the hippocampus. Seeing and labeling positive and negative memories is only possible with the use of an advanced neuroscience tool called optogenetics. Optogenetics. Yeah, that's not that difficult word. This is a way to trick the brain cell receptors to respond to light. Researchers shine a harmless laser light into the brain to turn on cells that have been given a receptor that responds to light. They can also color code positive and negative memories by inserting a fluorescent protein that is simulated by light, so that positive memory cell networks glow green, for example, and negative cell networks glow red or blue, rewiring bad memories. Before the researchers label a memory in a mouse, they first have to make the memory. To do this, they expose the rodents to a universally good or unpleasant experience. A positive experience could be nibbling on some tasty cheese or socializing with other mice. A negative experience could be receiving a mild but surprising electrical shock to the feet. Once a memory is formed, the scientists can find the network of cells that hold on to that experience and have them glow a certain color. Once they can see the memory, researchers can use laser light to artificially activate those memory cells and, as Ramirez's team has also discovered, rewrite the negative memories. In a paper published in Nature Communications, they found that artificial activation of positive experience permanently rewrote a negative experience, dialing the emotional intensity of the bad memory down. The researchers had the mice recall a negative experience, and during the fear memory recall, they artificially reactivated a group of positive memory cells. The competing positive memory, according to the paper, updated the fear memory, reducing the fear response at the time and long after the memory was activated. The study builds on previous work from Ramirez's lab that found it's possible to artificially manipulate past memories. Activating a positive memory was the most powerful way to update negative memory, but the team also found it's not the only way. Instead of targeting just positive memory cells, they also tried activating a neutral memory, some standard boring experience for an animal, and then tried activating the whole hippocampus, finding that both were effective. If you stimulate a lot of cells, not necessarily tied to any type of memory, that can cause enough interference to disrupt the fear memory, says Stephanie Grella, lead author and former postdoctoral fellow in the Ramirez lab, who recently started a memory and neuromodulatory mechanisms lab at Loyola University. Even though artificially activating memories is not possible to do in humans, the findings could still translate to clinical settings, Grella says, because you can ask the person, can you remember? Can you remember something negative? Can you remember something positive? She says. Questions you can't ask a mouse. She suggests that it could be possible to override the impacts of a negative in memory, one that has affected a person's mental state by having a person's recall the bad memory, and correctly timing a vivid recall of a positive one in a therapeutic setting. We know that memories are malleable, Grelly says. Question marks. One of the things that we found in this paper was that the timing of the stimulation was really critical. The quest for game changers, for other, more intensive types of treatment for severe depression and PTSD. Grella suggests that it could eventually be possible to stimulate large swaths of the hippocampus with tools like transcranial magnetic stimulation or deep brain stimulation, an invasive procedure to help people overcome these memory related disorders. Ramirez points out that more and more neuroscientists have started to embrace experimental treatments involving psychedelics and illicit drugs. For example, a 2021 study found that controlled doses of MDMA helped relieve some severe PTSD symptoms. The theme here is using some aspects of reward and positivity to rewrite the negative components of our past. It's analogous to what we're doing in rodents, except in humans, we artificially activated positive memories in rodents. And in humans, what they did was give them small doses of MDMA to see if that could be enough to rewrite some of the traumatic components of that experience. These types of experiments point to the importance of continuing to explore the clinical and beneficial methods of memory manipulation. But it's important to know that these experiments were done under close medical supervision and shouldn't be attempted at home. For now, Ramirez is excited to see how this work can further push the boundaries in neuroscience and hopes to see researchers experiment with even more out of the box ideas that can transform medicine in the future. We want game changers, right? He says. We want things that are going to be way more effective than the currently available treatment options. We want game changers, right? Yeah. I have been talking about feeding the wolves. I have been stating an example recently, some days ago, I guess, by making a video in a state of mind where it basically was total, like, it was so out of hand to make a video about something really different. But I did it. It wasn't easy. But I wanted to see how it is going. Is there any point of trying? Yes, there is. Most of us aren't balanced. There are some people, they are rather well. Some people, they are rather not well. Some of us, they went through things in their life. Sometimes it happened to someone close. and you were a bystander. Sometimes it happens to you. I had several of these life changing experiences in a rather rapid pace, and it's still ongoing. I have been making videos about magnetic fields giving relief to anxiety and such things. So I think by trying feeding the good wolves, which in this case probably would be those red ones. By doing something, and I'm not meaning, I don't mean thinking, no. Yeah, that's doing something as well, I know. But I mean something physical or whatever, something else than just sitting there or lying there in the dark alone and thinking something else. For example, making a video about something, do garden work, whatever stuff, do something. But at the same time, while you do that, whatever you do, taking a walk, riding your bike, or I don't know, really consciously be aware of what you're actually doing by doing something. You are feeding those. By doing something, you in a way manifest your wish or something which is not possible to measure, which is probably not even possible to share, not even with words, with anyone, because sometimes you just don't want to. And there would be anyway too much to say about it, so that's the first thing you probably don't even try. But anyway, by doing something, manifesting something, turning this attempt to feed the good wolves into something physical, you are manifesting something in the real world, let's say, like in the world of matter. If you clean your room, you created something. There has been a mess, which is a kind of order, and afterwards there is a kind of mess, which is a kind of order as well. It's just different. For example, by doing so, you will focus on certain things. And by staying focused on certain things, like as we just read, your brain will adapt to it. It doesn't happen in 5 minutes. It doesn't happen probably at the first time. It has something, it has to be practiced. You have to learn how to teach your brain to learn. I'm doing this very often. And I haven't taught this anyone else except YouTube. Whoever is listening to that. Is there, like, that's a funny question. It isn't really related to that. My channel is not about entertaining or whatsoever crap. If you want to get entertained, watch TV. But it would be very interesting once to have the possibility to talk with someone about these kind of things. I have been trying to talk with about these kind of things, even with professionals. And like I have been reading, I heard about it, I was thinking about it, that our memories probably are stored in our aura. Probably. Maybe some of them whatsoever. Probably not only in the brain. There is much more going on in humans than just what is going on in the brain. That is very important. But it's hard. So I just, every now and then, have these, at least for me personally, very odd monologues, starting off with some article and then it just talk. I don't know if there's any sense in those things. I can talk out of experience. It turned out that life provided me with a clear sight on the backside of everything. I have been critical towards societal systems or political systems, authority, science. I've been very critical about these things all my life. I haven't really knew that. Once I figured it out that yeah, I must be really critical. And there has been one point in my life where I decided that I got fooled way many times. Too many times already. I got teached things, I did as I have been told, and it turned out it's not so. I got fooled many times because I wanted to believe. I wanted to be a good one. I wanted to listen and learn how everything works. So I did my best by living in or by the applied rules of whatever things we are now talking about. Societal, financial, scientifical. And the chickens got quiet. Now she sat down. They're listening. At least 3 personalities are listening. But anyway, it turned out most of them are wrong. Like, so wrong that if you don't know about anything about these, you will be totally mind blown, flabbergasted, and your whole world picture will fall apart. There are a few here listening, I think, I guess, I hope, probably even, I don't know, which are, in a way, at the same point of understanding some things like I am. Of course, everything is evolving all the time. I don't expect anyone to agree with me. I just somehow try to provide information and some thoughts about things, about personal experiences and the things what I learned from them about myself, which is also a mirror of the whole society, of the whole life style, cycle, time we are in, because like every one of us is a really small fraction of the big mirror of the things which are happening right now. And many things which are happening right now were implied many, many years ago when many of us haven't even been born. They were implied then. It took several years until they came into full play, and these were the rules everyone had to live to or by. And look at it. Our world made by, to some degree, highly educated adults, and to some degree by not maybe really high educated adults, because you don't need have any education in order to be a politician. And they have quite much to say. Which is an interesting thing in itself. So, I'm just a random dude, some layman somewhere. I think I might be up to several things: white rivers, mountain waters, peat, clay. There are several other things I haven't ever made any videos about and stuff like that. I think it is very interesting. We are living in very interesting times. And once again, maybe the most important, and in a way, the most simple thing everyone has to do is keep your shit together. If you can keep your shit together, at least to some degree, you are a step ahead of many, because they don't even know about the possibility keeping it together. So they don't know that there could be any reason to do so. You know. And that's a great advantage. So, I don't know. I drifted off. My next video will probably be about something mundane, earthquake things everybody can see, and you don't have to relate to it in any way or disagree. But I don't know. I really enjoy having still internet and having these things we have. Because it is almost expected, or it is expected. So I won't be surprised too much that it will end. There will be a time when there is no such channel as mine. For whatever reasons there might be. Maybe, if it's any worth, I can warn that, it seems this is my last video. Maybe there's reasons I'm gonna tell, maybe not. Maybe it's just ending. It just ends and it's done. I don't know. I have been watching clouds today and they were very interesting. Maybe I make a video about them. I don't know. Let's see. Unlocking the power of our emotional memory to cure mental health disorders like depression and PTSD. Focus on keeping your shit together and unlock the power, because it's in you. You have to keep the flame burning cleanly. Try. Focus. Thanks.